Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast.
What ho, Akie.
What ho, Stevie Mans? How goes it?
It goes well, it goes well. How goes it with you?
It goes to Roanoke, Virginia with me at the beginning of a tour.
Very good, very good.
The very beginning. I have flown in today. I don't have any of my stuff. I'm using not my fancy interface, just Bluetooth or USB microphone. But you know what? We had to do it because it's such an important time.
It's true. And I assume, is this the start of the tour where I will see you perform at Radio City Music Hall?
No, that is the next leg of the tour. This will go till late August. Then I get a week off.
Okay.
And then the beginning of that next tour is basically Radio City Music Hall from September to October.
Well, I'm excited for that.
It's going to be very exciting stuff.
Yeah, save your best work for then, please.
Oh, yeah, I'm phoning it in until you're in the crowd.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good.
I've had a stern talking to, but I told them it's not worth it for me until Stevie's here, so deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since we caught up with Star Trek.
Indeed.
But, you know, Lower Decks isn't out for another, 4 weeks. What are we going to do?
4 weeks, almost exactly a month. I don't know. Well, we have some, I don't even know if we're going to do segments on this episode. This is a special. This is a very special episode of Set Phasers.
Never seen before episode, people.
This is brand new, hot drop. Tell a friend. I don't know. Smash the like button.
This is our hot take. And I don't even know what sound effects to use because we've never done it before.
Yeah, we don't have just sitting together and talking about nerd music, nerd drop,
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't have music. I don't have sound effects. We're just going to have to make it up. It'll be great.
We're just going to have to make it up. We've done far worse for far better reasons. So, well, I mean, listen, let's just get right into it. I mean, should we talk? I mean, listen, we have the Patreon. For people who are listening for the first time, we should do this. For people who are listening for the first time, where have you been? We've been waiting for you. Welcome in. Have a seat. Cop a squat. This is Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast hosted by myself and my co-host with the mo-host, Stevie. And yeah, I said it. I decided to rhyme something that didn't need to be. Listen, we talk about Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's pretty much it. Join us on Patreon where we do more of that with you. That's pretty much the Patreon, is we do the thing that we already do, but we do it with you. We have Zoom hangs. We have watch parties. We have a lot of fun. But join us there, patreon.com/setphasers. Now, shall we? So that was the short version. Shall we talk about the news?
Let's talk about news. News. It's just a news show. We should just start it with the news.
Okay.
News from around the galaxy.
We go with my exciting bed, but it's going to go on for the entire episode. So, let's just do this. In sound school, they say don't overuse things.
Do they say that in sound school?
Yeah,
I don't think you've overused it yet.
I've also never been to sound school, so.
Well, that's ironic because your schooling is sound.
Very good for me. It's very good.
Thank you. Well, I do my best. All right. So basically, the backdrop for this is that San Diego Comic-Con was last weekend.
Yes.
and a slew of things were revealed about the Star Trek universe.
Plethora of news, if you will, for which
Indeed.
we were not present, and we will rectify this situation in future.
Yeah. Like I'm already in the doghouse with my bandmates for phoning it in until we do the show for you. I'm also going to tell them I refuse to work next year during Comic-Con because I will be there
Yes.
to see all these things happen live.
July
But
23rd to 27th is out. Lake Street.
oh
It is
man,
out.
it's out. Should we do an episode every day
Ooh, we could.
at Comic-Con? We
That could be
could.
quite fun.
Yeah, we'll bring the whole rig.
Very quick, very rough. I like it.
Yeah. Just a little wrap up.
I'll tell the wife.
All right, you
Okay.
tell your wife, and I'll
Yeah.
tell my cat, and we'll make sure that we're available. Okay, so
Where should we start? Do you want
where
to
should-
start with which? Do you want to start with a franchise? Do you want to start with Picard, Lower Decks?
well, let's start with
No.
the least news, the least interesting news, which is still very interesting, is that Lower Decks coming out August 25th,
Mm-hmm.
and all we know is that it's a battle to clear Captain Freeman's name.
I didn't think that was the least interesting bit of news. I think there's still stuff there that could be quite interesting.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not interesting. I'm saying the other stuff is just so much more tasty.
True.
This is but
I know-
just a tidbit.
True, and we've known for quite some time that Lower Decks is coming on August 25th. Why did I say
Yes.
25th or 26th? 25th.
Pretty
Okay.
sure it's the 25th. Yes.
It's around that date. We've seen the trailer.
Mhm.
So that was not new before Comic-Con, which was obviously July 20 something to this week to 20. I think it was last week. Apologies.
Yes. Last week.
So late July. So there's not been, you would almost think there's not a huge amount of news for Lower Decks. However, the exciting piece of news from Lower Decks is that there's going to be a crossover with Strange New Worlds. There's going to be a live animation. Well, there's live. Is it live animation?
Well, I don't know what you would call that.
There's live action,
Live acting.
live action and animation. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but they have confirmed, McMahon and Kurtzman have confirmed that there is a crossover. There will be animation. So where Pike himself is going to be animated, there will be a buff Pike, obviously.
Buff.
I don't know how they're going to make him look too different to what's his face. Who's our commander?
The first officer. Yeah. Gosh, I can't remember his name right now. All I can think about is Shax. It's like, no, that's Rutherford. Does his name start with an R? Should we Google that?
Uh-huh.
Are you already Googling it?
I am, yes. But
You can Google that.
uh,
Ransom.
thank you, Commander
Yes.
Handsome.
Gary O'Connell.
Yeah, you know,
Sliders fame.
maybe Pike obviously just doesn't have a beard, but you could imagine him looking like a sort of carbon copy of Ransom.
Well, he's going to have the salt and pepper high hair, you know.
But that's very similar. He's almost already a salt and pepper Ransom without a beard.
Maybe Ransom will have some sort of, you know, he'll feel outclassed by Pike, who's like everything he wants to be, but also smart.
Could be.
Yeah.
We do know that the live action piece, Mariner, is, and obviously Brad Boimler, I nearly forgot that, are going to be they're going to be live action.
Which is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yes.
Who are fantastic.
Yeah.
We want to see them in live action.
It's going to be Tawny and what's his name? Jack?
Yes. Brad.
Jack Quaid.
Oh, yes, Jack Quaid. But we don't know what they're going to do. But having seen the last couple of episodes of Strange New Worlds, how freaky deaky it got, I kind of see it happening.
Well, I have an admission to make.
Oh,
I never watch after shows.
yes.
Well, when we were done with Strange New Worlds, I just wasn't done with having Star Trek to watch. And so I watched the after show of the season finale.
I don't think I've watched that yet.
Well, they did an interview with Spock and I think it might have been Kurtzman. Now I don't remember. It's weeks ago now. But they did say, this is before Comic-Con, that they do something in season 2 that has never been done in Star Trek before, and I wonder if it's this animation live action crossover thing. Like, is it going to be a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of situation, or are we just going to go in and out of worlds? It's a tricky thing to do, but I feel like these nerds can do it.
I think so. And we've had so many crossovers in other universes of, whether it's Marvel, whether it's the CW, whether it's Flash or Arrow, all of that stuff.
Mhm.
It's happened, and Star Trek hasn't done it yet. So maybe they're feeling the Joneses are doing it. Let's keep up.
First of all, I just want to applaud you for rattling off the top of your head like 3 different franchises that have crossovers and ending with that DCU, Flash, and Arrow, which is, I think, it's pretty deep cut. That's a good
Do you
pull.
think so?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Is Arrow still on? I watched the
No.
first 2 seasons of Arrow and maybe
Arrow
the first
finished,
season of Flash.
3 years ago.
Things
God,
got too
no.
weird after the Australian guy died and came back, and
Flash got really weird. I think after
Flash got super weird. Yeah.
and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And I watched Supergirl for like 6 seasons, and then it got really weird.
They
Super deep cut there.
super deep cut with Supergirl, which I've only seen 1 episode of, but it's on my queue. I'm actually,
You would love it.
of course I would.
Pretty
It's up
much
there.
like a rom-com meets an action hero thing.
Listen, I don't want to get us derailed, but I have another admission.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are barely connected to Star Trek, you told me to watch a particular show that's sort of an homage to Star Trek some years ago.
I did.
And I was like, I'll get around to it. Well, it was 9,000 degrees this past week in New York, and so I watched the entire first season
Of the Orville.
which I found very enjoyable. And you were right.
Thank you.
I'm saying it publicly on the record. You are correct. I was being a curmudgeon. It's a great show. Super fun.
I do love hearing it. And it's funny you say that because my dad watched it recently. And I've been telling him for such a long time. I was like, Dad, you're really going to love this. If you love TNG, you're going to love this. He was like, yeah, whatever. I'll get around to it. And then he was like, oh my God, I love this. You were so right about this. And I was like, yeah, thanks. You're 3 years too late on that, but I'll take it.
Yeah. What does the kids say? Collect your flowers or whatever. Take your flowers. Is that what the kids say?
I don't know.
When you got
Is that a Dead Poets thing?
No, it's like I don't know. It's like a TikTok thing. It's like a meme thing. It's like when someone's giving you compliments, take them, gather them.
Gather ye flowers while ye may.
Sure, you rosebuds even.
Oh, there you go. Okay, see, we were on the same path.
Yeah,
Anyway.
So that's going to be cool. There'll be a weird crossover. It's going to be half live. It's going to be some live action, some cartoon. I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited.
Very excited. Who knows? And I assume Lower Decks will do it first.
That's my assumption. It's coming up. This would be a perfect time because we know that the crew is without the ship. They're kind of scattered to various worlds. So this would be a great time for the Enterprise to get pulled into their shenanigans.
Interesting. I wonder. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a tinfoil. That's an Akie theory that I've been banging around.
How are they going to do it? Because typically when there are crossovers, 2 shows are on at the same time. They're on concurrently.
Right.
So in this case, they're not.
Right. But behind the scenes, people are pulling the strings, making sure all the canon is in its proper place.
Yes, they did. Yeah. They talked a lot about that, I think, at Comic-Con. How, like, with the 5 seasons that they have, with 5 series they've got going on at the moment, how they need to be really careful about that.
Yes, it could easily, and all the timey-wiminess.
Yes, timey-wimey.
Yeah, I mean, Mariner at
Thompson moderated one of the panels, timey-wiminess.
Timey-wiminess. Well, we know that Cerritos... Take a drink to timey-wiminess. Cerritos is post-TNG.
Yep.
And Strange New Worlds is pre-TOS.
Yep.
So there would probably have to be some sort of timey-wiminess, unless it's a...
You make a great point.
Right?
Unless it's a holodeck episode.
Well, it can only be a holodeck episode for Lower Decks.
Yes.
It could not be for Strange New Worlds.
Timey-wimey.
It's got to be timey-wimey.
Look at us, tinfoiling.
Yeah, look at us tinfoiling. We're so good at what we do.
We're so
good. We're such good nerds.
It's fucking 14 minutes on.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, so my other news, I think, for Lower Decks, DS9, you are going to love this. DS9 is going to get more of a look in, as it has been dominated, really, so far by TNG and TOS, with a little Voyager sprinkled in. But the Cerritos will be visiting DS9
God.
and going inside. So you're going to see a lot of Cardassian stuff. I think some familiar faces.
Going into DS9, formerly called Terak Nor by the Cardassian.
Okay. So you'll be- I love that moment of like, we are both nerding out on Star Trek,
Yeah,
and I'm like, no,
yeah.
you're too far. You're
Okay.
too far.
Take it down a notch, Akie. We don't need to know the original Cardassian name of Deep Space Nine. All right. So
Well,
they're going to go inside? I didn't even know this.
Nerd points for you for Tarak Nor. But yes, they
Well-
are going inside, and you'll get to see lots of things.
Quark's bar and various
Probably,
other
actually.
things.
If Mariner doesn't get to Quark's bar, I will be shocked.
That's
Shocked.
going to be the first place she goes, right? She's probably knows Quark super well.
Yes. And we did mention in a previous news update that everyone's favorite exocomp Peanut Hamper is returning.
Yes.
We're pretty sure the Deathly Badgie will also return.
Oof, terrifying.
Yes. This is a bit ironic, but are they doing Badgie to death?
We've only had 2 Badgie episodes,
True.
and only
We
the
get
one
one
was
in
the
that-
origin
We get one
story.
a season.
This is you got to do it till you do it to death.
Mm.
And let's make that a jam band song. But I think every enterprise, every franchise has that, like, oh, this is going to be a thing episode. So
Mhm.
Badgie returns. He's
Okay.
he's the evil. He's like the fun evil that we know. He's the Q of Lower
Yeah.
Decks.
And I do love the actor who plays him.
Yes.
Was in 30 Rock and was like one of those tour guides. Very.
Jack McBrayer.
Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, so that's Lower Decks. Let's see. Where should we move on to?
Well, we've sort of begun to discuss. Should we talk about Jean-Luc Picard season 4?
Oh wait,
Picard?
let's tease it.
Okay.
There's one more bit of less interesting news. And
Let's do it.
Do you know what? At the start of this episode, we should have said, so we're going to talk about Lower Decks, Picard, and the new movie. So
Yes.
we should have thrown forward, but we'll just do it now. So that's what we're doing. And now, so Star Trek, I know this is how good I am at this game. Star Trek movie 4 is still pending. So the original, not published, release date was December 2023. Actually,
Right.
I think it was well before then. Pandemics happened and whatnot. So it's been quite a while, I think, since we would have had a movie release. So what was it, 2016, 2017?
Yeah, we did a watch along in that. Not Into Darkness. Whatever it was called.
Beyond.
Beyond.
So we still, as yet, do not have a title. We do know that J.J. Abrams will be behind it. I think there is also somebody else directing / in the script. I think Simon Pegg is also doing the script, but I think we talked about how it was all pushed back because there was the Battle of the Chris's that happened in Hollywood in 2264.
The Battle of the Chris's.
The Battle of the Chris's. So there was discussion that Hemsworth would come and play George Tiberius Kirk, as well as having Chris Pine play James Tiberius Kirk. And the two Chris's were having a salary off. And Hemsworth, being now probably arguably the bigger star, was arguing for a bigger salary when James T. Kirk, played by Chris Pine, was the biggest star of the movie franchise.
Yeah, exactly. The leading man.
Not going to be happy. Exactly. So they've dropped Chris Hemsworth from the script and it will now just be Chris Pine. However, even at Comic-Con last week, Chris Pine was like, hey, yeah, I'll be super excited, but I don't know anything. So I think he's just playing dumb and they're having salary negotiations.
I agree.
And they're also still figuring out the script. So no one knows what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Supposedly the release date is still December 2023. So if they do it, they're going to have to really fucking move.
I mean, the turnaround, at this point, we're looking at 18 months. That's not even, I don't think it's feasible, but we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, it takes 3 months, 3 to 4 months to film a movie.
Yeah, but these are so much, he's got to put a lens flare every 4 seconds.
Yes.
That's got to take weeks to put all that in there.
Yeah.
If JJ's behind the camera. And I don't know. Well, I would love for there to be a Christmas time.
Are they still going to be in Kelvin? Christmas time at Kelvin time. Are they still going to be in
Kelvin
the Kelvin
time is here. Yeah, it has to be the Kelvin timeline.
Very
Spock came
important.
back, the red matter, blew things up, yada yada yada.
Okay, all right. Well, there we go. So there's very, very little news other than the news is there is no news.
The news is there is no news, but there is news, but no one knows what the news is.
Yeah,
Is the news.
is the news. Okay.
Behind this nameless movie.
So our biggest news is around Picard.
Ba, 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 ba.
Ba, 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 ba. What? Did I go too far?
No, I listen. I'm just trying to rein myself in. Because you sing, then I want to sing, and then the whole
This is
episode.
Stevie on 2 gin and tonics. I don't think I've done this since we've started. I think maybe during the pandemic, I was like, "Oh, this is rough. Let's have a drink." But I don't think I've certainly done this since then. My wife's away. The kids will play.
Yes. No one's in charge.
I know. So the big reveal for Picard was that they revealed that TNG cast members who will be returning for the third and final season of Picard. So obviously we had so many exits from the new cast in season 2 that naturally there was space to fill. And you and I were surmising where that might be. And they have just gone and brought pretty much the whole of the TNG cast back.
Right.
And I think part of it, like, I love Picard. Loved it. Thought it was brilliant, so well written and all of that. But I think a lot of the Star Trek fans were like, they wanted more of a TNG feeling.
Sure.
So I think that's what they've done in bringing back the TNG cast. And they're essentially going, the last movie wasn't really the last movie. Let's make season 3 the last movie.
Right. Which they can now do.
Yeah.
Because the TV shows have such high production quality. They're basically movie-like. We have
they get to develop the characters as never before.
And whenever we watch the original series movies, I'm always like, the thing that I love most about those is how old everyone is and how they're always so like, remember, they always look at the bridge and go, it just makes me feel, I don't know what, I get a warm feeling inside when they're like, we've been friends for so long, you and me. And so I'm hoping to see a lot of that in Picard. I hope to see a lot of like, it's been a long time, but it seems like there might be some in the crew, some interpersonal issues based on the little teaser trailer we saw.
Yes. Which one did you see? I saw the one where it was like Geordie writing a letter. Have I not seen that thing?
I saw a brief one that had some bit of Worf, and Worf was saying, "No one tells me about the decisions I've made," or something like that. It seems like he was riposting with someone who was telling him he had to do something. So I wonder if Worf is reluctant to join up with the party. We don't really know what's happened to Worf since Deep Space Nine, so that could be very interesting. I imagine that. Geordie is just, warm and wonderful and is like, sure, let's save the universe, as always.
So to be clear, I don't think we said it, but we have, returning and reprising their roles, we have Gates McFadden as Beverly Crusher, Jonathan Frakes as Commander Riker, Marina Sirtis as Deanna Troi, Michael Dorn as Worf, Brent Spiner as Who Knows?
Yes, Brent Spiner is Who Knows.
So they did say that Brent is returning. So Kurtzman said this. He said he is returning as an old new character.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Who the fuck?
Why are they so?
Because they're teasing us, Akie. They're teasing.
It's working, and I don't like it.
I know. All right, so what do you think? So in terms of the villain,
yes,
I was asked about the villain, and he said it would be a Khan level villain, and she would be quite formidable.
See, now I don't want to get, I'm really trying not to get too tinfoil here, but Khan level villain means a villain that they have encountered before, to me. because
But it
Khan
wouldn't
is.
be Borg, and that's pretty much the biggest she villain in
But
TNG.
I've obviously been chewing over this for a couple of days, and I have a theory.
Okay. Hit me.
It's Yar.
But
Vulcan Yar. Did she die? Did Vulcan Yar die?
I think so.
You might be right.
But would they not have announced her? Because even when Q came back, they announced John Delancey.
I feel like they would want to save this to sort of surprise people. But I'm racking my brain to think of who has been a villain that was a lady.
Other than the Borg Queen.
Other than the Borg Queen. I assume when they say Khan-like, it means someone you're like, you again, you know?
Or just someone who's vexed Picard or vexes. Because, I mean, if you were to say Khan-like villain, I might have thought of Q.
Yes, that's the most Khan-like character.
Because he's been recurring. He's been a pain in his ass.
I just can't think of, unless it's like, who was the woman who was the thief that he was sort of into?
Oh, Vash.
Vash. But the whole universe, world, the galaxy is at stake here in season 3 of Picard. Anyway, I'm putting my hat in the ring. Is that what you do with your hat? For Tasha Yar, or some version thereof.
Okay. You're going with Tasha.
Listen, and hey, am I still on my high horse about Lorca coming back? Yes. I still think it's possible, but I know it's crazy.
Unless Lorca came back as a woman, then no. Come on, Akie.
No, I'm not saying for Picard. I just mean overall, Lorca could come back. Okay, fine. We don't have to go into this. We don't have to relitigate my obsession with Lorca coming back.
Okay. Okay, so Leah Thompson, who moderated the Picard panel and has directed, as we know, an episode in season 2. Can you recall the name of that episode, Akie?
No, I cannot.
Neither can I. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember the episodes, but I can't remember all their names.
Hang on. Let's go.
If you want to know, you can Google that.
All right. So was it... So let's see. We had Farewell, Hide and Seek, Mercy, Monsters, Fly Me to the Moon, 2 of 1, Assimilation, Watcher. I think it was one of the later ones. I think it might have been Mercy. Ralphie 7. I think it might have been Mercy. Let's see. Leah Thompson, Picard directing. Leah Thompson. That's weird. Leah Thompson planned to make a Howard Duck sequel. Not what I wanted to know.
Well, I found it. Oh, she directed 2, according to Wikipedia.
Did she? Which ones?
Assimilation. And Watcher. Yeah, that's the one where they have to get Rios off the bus. These are early on. These are like Assimilation's episode 3.
Oh, that makes sense, because she did the one where they were racing through the city.
Yes.
That's the one. Yeah, I knew it was that one. I just didn't remember how early on that was. Okay, I thought it was later. My bad. Timey-wiminess. Okay, so Leah Thompson. Now, back to my original point. Leah Thompson, who moderated the panel, directed an episode of season 2. She asked whether Jean-Luc Picard would sit in the captain's chair, and his cryptic answer indicated that there would be more than one Enterprise, meaning tinfoil, meaning that the Enterprise D will play some role in this season. Now, the D was last seen crash landing on Viridian 3 after separating from the drive section, which exploded. And we recall from season 2, episode 1 of Picard, that the saucer section was salvaged and put on display at Starfleet Museum. So somehow it has come out of the archives or the museum, and we will see it. We think this is the chatter. This is the internet chatter.
Well, that's a classic Star Trek trope that the old timers are like, get the old ship out of mothballs and let's get out, go break
Dust
it
it
out of
off,
the
dust it
museum.
off.
Nice heist. We
Okay.
know that every Picard season features an episode where everyone gets dressed up in elaborate costumes and engages in some sort of heist. So I look forward
Yes.
to this one.
The Robin Hood one was probably one of my favorites.
Mm.
I am not a merry man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I very much still love season one's Picard doing his French accent with the eye patch.
See, that was season 1?
That was season 1.
Oh, of Picard. I thought you meant
Of
TNG.
Picard. I'm sorry. Of Picard. We have so much Star Trek we're talking about.
So much Star Trek. So Gaze McFadden was part of the panel, and she said that she was delighted with the script, and she thinks it's some of the best stuff her character has ever had, and hopes fans will be as thrilled as she. She also said that there are lots of unresolved issues between Picard and Crusher.
Yeah, of course.
Do you think we'll get a romance, or will Picard kick off again with the
No. That was her alternate history name. Her real timeline name is Irish Romulan friend.
Shit. We're gonna have to Google that too.
We're gonna have to Google that.
You can Google that.
Laris.
We knew it all along.
We knew it. We knew it all along. We knew it was Laris.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was Laris. No.
We knew. Oh no! Don't do it.
I know, but anytime I gotta try it every time. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Will he still be in a relationship with Laris, or is that going to be part of the conflict between him and Beverly? And so much time has passed.
It was quite nice seeing him next to Gates because she's a woman much more his age.
Yes.
And even Laris is, I don't know, what, 20, 30 years younger?
Yes. I mean, she's a Romulan, so she could be 200 years old, but
That's true.
you get
You get the gist. Anyway.
You get the gist. You catch my drift.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think this is them wrapping things up nicely and he ends up with Beverly and then he dies? Because he's going to die soon.
Jesus.
Come on, it's like going to see the Rolling Stones. You know they're going to die soon.
Well, he almost died at the end of season 1, but then they put him in that fake. He's got a fake body now. So I don't know. I mean, it would be truly Shakespearean for Picard to die at the end of season 3 to fully kill off the character. I don't know. This is very. Now that we're talking about it out loud. Spiner coming back as a new old character, and a female Khan like big bad, and what Picard's fate is. I just feel like there's some element here that is otherworldly, which is as it should be. They're gonna take us on a trip, is what I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. So what else?
Just a few little wrap up things, right? Oh, did you have something else?
Oh, I had 2 small things left. So, showrunner Alex Kurtzman confirms 2 new Star Trek shows are in development with female leads.
Wonderful.
Obviously, Picard departs, so there's room for one more. And then what? Section 31, a 7 of 9 spin-off. What do we think?
Well, I am not ready to say goodbye to 7 of 9 and Rafi, who I really feel like should have their own, Lethal Weapon style.
Can we just pay tribute to 7 for a second?
Let's do it.
Thank you. It really needs to be longer now.
She's 7 of 9.
7 of
She's 7 of 9.
7 of
9.
If you can see the video,
Longer.
I what do you I'm singing every instrument in that. I don't know how I can make it longer.
Oh, I just love it so much. I want more in every way.
I have to say it is definitely the best thing I've ever made. And I truly believe it is the finest thing I've ever made as a musician.
I would like you to submit that to Lake Street and just say,
I'll tell them. I'll be like, hey, let's cover this.
do it.
Let's play Comic-Con.
I support this. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm not ready to say goodbye to Seven and Rafi. I think they could have a cool Adventures Around the Galaxy show with just a lot of cool, and it could be episodic, but sort of inside outside of the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we're all dying. I don't know if it's even in the cards now that her star has ascended so high, but Michelle Yeoh coming back. We're all dying to see Michelle Yeoh come back as Mirror Universe Georgiou working for Section 31 or something. But she's now, I think it truly would need, at this point, her profile is so high, like you have to get, Picard has to end to be able to focus on a show with a star that big, I think.
A show with Yeoh.
A show with Yeoh.
There you go.
I hope you're proud of yourself. And there you go.
So proud. All the time.
Yes. I mean, I'm down for that. I would love for there to be never not be Star Trek on.
Mm.
If it was like Seinfeld reruns, like at all times of the day, every day, somewhere Star Trek was playing.
Why not?
I mean, we're getting there. We just got to keep the faith.
I agree. Well, is there anything else that you have to say?
No, but listen, full disclosure, you shared with me your notes. The only bit of news that I found disheartening was the idea that there may be less Trek per year that you sent over, which I missed in all the panels and stuff.
It was sort of a between the lines thing, and I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. There is very likely, I think tomorrow, a recession will be announced in the news, and we are July 27th as of recording, so July 28th. It's very possible that a recession will be announced. So, and people get scared by the word recession, and Wall Street pressures on streaming companies to pay their shareholders and whatnot. Makes me think that, because I mean, Kurtzman have said Paramount Plus are like, hey, they'll allow him to make as many Star Trek shows as makes sense. But if there's money pressures, they may scale back. And they have spent a lot on the franchise, and they've spent a lot on this AR wall that they're using. The production value of every season, except actually Lower Decks, because it's relatively cheap to make, but story-wise it's expensive. But
right.
it's still cheap, it's animated, but they are spending a lot of money on some great Trek and stories and everything. Could they decide that they're going to produce a little bit less until the recession eases? The recession's looking, and this is me this is very boring, but this is me with my day job hat on. It's looking like it's going to be at least a year and a half, 2 years. So the impact of that on, unfortunately, streaming services and whatnot it couldn't not hit everyone. But
it could go the other way. I mean, in recessions, those sorts of things can sometimes be recession proof. It really depends. Well, there's a lot of streaming right now, which is part of the issue too.
Yeah, it's fragmenting. Netflix has lost subscribers for the first time, I think, ever.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bellwether, because Netflix was the only game in town for so long. They have to lose subscribers. They have to lose them. People are like, do we want to watch Netflix when we have Disney Plus and Paramount Plus and Hulu, all these great, Apple TV, which are all winning huge awards. Netflix has like Stranger Things and what? Is it cake?
Well, it also has British Bake Off. Which,
no. It has wonderful things. I'm being glib, but I mean, their new shows that Netflix is trying to put out some of them are goofy. and they've been spending money, profligately. We'll see. Also do wonder what if Paramount Plus has a many subscribers coming in for other things. Like they have other. Every time I finish a Star Trek episode, they try to make me watch Halo. I'm like, is anyone watching those shows?
I mean, I do wonder about. Oh, what was I going to say? I've forgotten. What was the last? With Paramount Plus expanding, they've been slow to expand. So globally,
right?
I don't think Europe is on board yet. It was supposed to be spring. I don't think they're on board yet. So in order for them to make use of a global fan base for Star Trek, they're a little slow on the uptake there.
Yeah.
So who knows?
This is a very interesting. Listen, it's dry. It's current events, but I'm fascinated by it. And obviously, as I have no spouse or children, most of my disposable income goes towards streaming shows, streaming services, and fancy coffee and bow ties. So, that makes total sense. There would be like a little bit of a tightening of the belts, but I do feel like I can't remember specifically, but I do feel like a lot of the prestige that Paramount Plus has is coming from Star Trek shows winning Emmys and things like that, so they may not want to give up their flagship franchises for their other. Flagship. This is me just trying to bully Paramount Plus into making more Star Trek.
Kurtzman, if you're listening.
Yeah, Kurtzman, it's not on you, man. But if you need me to talk to the people upstairs at Paramount HQ, you let them know. Akie said they might want to hold on. If they want a lifeboat in the tumultuous tide that is current events, Star Trek is the finest of flotation devices. That sentence started strong, but I
thought you were going to go with it is the finest of frontiers.
That would have been much better. Much better. This is why we should have a writer's room, just the two of us, because I started strong, but didn't finish.
I think so. I mean, they're looking for pitches all the time. You and I could team up.
The musical.
Mans and Burmese.
Mans and Burmese. All right, we should probably wrap this episode up. Next time?
Next time on Set Phasers.
Works for me.
Well, listen, I don't know what's next. Well, we do know that you have not seen Star Trek The Motion Picture, the original Star Trek movie.
Correct.
So we might do a watch along of that, right?
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
Did I make you watch Wrath of Khan, or did I just watch it?
You made me watch Wrath of Khan, yes. I recall that.
I extorted you to watch Wrath of Khan. So you still haven't seen the motion picture, which I think we should see. And then listen, we're just biding our time until Lower Decks starts up in a mere month. I'll be on tour the whole time, so it should be very awkward. But we're going to figure something out.
We'll figure it out. And if you are a patron, please accept our humblest apologies I had COVID. I was in the UK. Akie's had touring. We apologize for our summer schedules being a little bit busy, but we want to connect with you and have Zoom hangs and watch parties. So
toward that end, you may be hearing from us. Oh, well, you'll have already heard from us. Oh, God. I ruined the timeline. Timey-wimey.
Do I have a record scratch? And we can just sort of go back in time. Whoop.
Here we go.
There we go. Back in time. Oh, flashback. So, patrons, we'll be meeting with you soon.
And we can't wait.
We can't wait.
Listen, if you
/set phasers if you're not already a patron.
And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Set Phasers Podcast, where Stevie does anything that exists, and I like it. And I don't know. Gosh, take care of yourselves, I guess.
Alex is reminding me about something. Time to go. I think she's saying, Stevie, put the salmon in the freezer. That's literally what it is.
Fantastic. We nailed it then. Time for you to go have some salmon.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for listening to this wonderful news edition of Set Phasers. I'm Stevie Mans. Until next time.
And I'm Akie Burmese, now and forever. And this has been Set Phasers, a highly illogical Star Trek podcast.
Computer! End program. Oops.